Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Ebony Monet. San Diego's minimum wage went up to $11.50 per hour this week. KPBS Metro reporter Andrew Bowen says now some restaurants are tacking on an extra surcharge to help pay for higher labor costs.
Catania is an upscale Italian restaurant in La Jolla. Since January 1st, they've included a small note at the bottom of their menus saying customers will be charged an extra 3.75% to compensate for higher costs triggered by state and local laws.
We appreciate your trust and understanding, and we'll continue to put our heart and soul into providing you delicious food.
Owner Arturo Cassell says restaurants operate with tiny profit margins, and they have to pass on the higher costs to consumers.
You're seeing this being implemented in cities like Los Angeles, Oakland, Seattle, and over the course of the next 6 months here in San Diego, it'll become the new normal.
Cassell says the only minimum wage employees he has are those who earn tips, like waiters, bartenders, and bussers. He says with tips factored in, they're making well above their regular salary.
And unfortunately, the people that really need it and deserve it, these are your cooks, your prep cooks, your dishwashers, they're being left out in the cold, and we're opting to do something about it.
The 3.75% surcharge is higher than charges at other restaurants. Cassell says that's so he can give raises to the whole staff, even those already earning above minimum wage.
172,000 workers will be benefiting from this increase.
Claire Crawford heads the Center on Policy Initiatives, which supported the local minimum wage increase. She says the surcharge sounds like a political statement, but that the raises are good news.
What we do think is good is that this is actually getting the restaurant industry into a conversation about the conditions of work for all of their employees, which is really critical.
San Diego's minimum wage will be $1 higher than the state's for the rest of 2017. The state minimum wage will gradually increase to $15 per hour by 2022. Andrew Bowen, KPBS News.
Activists are asking Mayor Kevin Faulconer to stop the ticketing and arresting of homeless people sleeping on the streets. They gave him a petition today with more than 1,000 signatures. KPBS reporter Jean Guerrero has the story.
The voices of the city choir, made up of San Diego's homeless, performed prior to delivering the petition.
Raise me up. My wife and I are homeless, and it's no fun. And I just hope there's some action that can be done to help everybody, because everybody should have a place to go and feel safe.
Activist leaders spoke about the petition, which asks the mayor to stop punishing homeless people for sleeping in the streets. The petition has over 1,100 signatures.
Here's the printout of the signatures plus comments. Many comments.
Martha Sullivan of Women Occupy San Diego says the mayor needs to provide homeless people with safe and affordable housing options before punishing them for sleeping in the streets.
We need to treat homelessness as the man-made disaster it is, not as a crime. We need to stop ticketing, arresting, and issuing stay-away orders for homeless people.
Shane Harris of the National Action Network also spoke, saying Black people are disproportionately represented in the homeless population. He urged the mayor to help.
And stop snatching tents from those in our streets. We have got to serve them, not push them aside. Stand up and use your leadership.
Steph Johnson, co-founder of the city choir, echoed the message.
We don't like what we see. It's wrong. We know it's wrong. We know that in a city that has this much money, it is wrong.
After the press conference, the activists entered City Hall to deliver the petition to the mayor. They plan to meet with city leaders later this week. Jean Guerrero, KPBS News.
In a statement late today, Faulconer's office says the mayor will propose solutions to homelessness at his State of the City address next week. The 115th Congress is now in session. New members of the House and Senate were sworn in today, including new California Senator Kamala Harris. She is the first Indian American to serve in the Senate. The session started with some controversy as House Republicans proposed and then pulled a plan to take power away from the Office of Congressional Ethics. Republican Duncan Hunter was the only San Diego area congressman who supported that plan. He's currently being investigated by a separate group, the House Ethics Committee. From state assemblywoman to state senator representing District 39, today I sat down with Senator Toni Atkins to discuss how California lawmakers will protect covered California and environmental protection programs once President-elect Donald Trump takes office. We also spoke about an affordable housing bill she introduced moments after being sworn in. And why affordable housing right out of the gate?
Because it is, I think, one of the biggest issues in California right now. It's a crisis. When you have the rating agencies, Moody's, Standard & Poor's, Fitch, say that our financial situation in California, the next big problem is going to be housing, because employees and employers can't find employees. Employees are not there because they don't have affordable places to live. It's going to affect the California economy, but we feel it at home. So it isn't just about the financial world and the data. We feel it in our own community. People cannot find affordable places to live.
Speaking of affordable, the Affordable Care Act, Republicans say that they will repeal it. If so, what will that mean for covered California?
I think that is one of the big issues people were, regular citizens were afraid of after the election. I think California really, we out of the gate, this was a huge program that we embraced early on. We've covered upwards of 3 million more Californians between covered California and Medicaid or Medi-Cal expansion. I think you're going to find that we are going to solidly make sure that we have the resources to fund and continue to provide health coverage. You know, it was a campaign, and people made lots of comments about what they were going to do or undo. But if you poll Americans, they like the fact that you can get coverage whether you have a pre-existing condition or not. They like being able to continue to have their kids on their coverage up to age 26. So I think, and they have assurances that they can be covered for the first time ever for millions of Americans. So I think there's a campaign, there's an election, and then there is the reality of the world after. And I think you saw even a number of Republican governors actually say they want to continue this program because of the benefits.
Under President-elect Donald Trump, there are some cabinet nominees who question the science behind climate change. So how can California state lawmakers protect programs for the environment, to protect the environment?
Well, California has been at the progressive forefront of climate change in the country. We were acknowledged by President Obama. We went to Paris last year. We have relationships with other countries. California is basically a nation state. We have relationships with, communities and cities and states in Canada and Mexico, in 4 different continents. So I think we continue our work to protect the climate. We have 1,100 miles of coastline. We have to be concerned about sea level rise. So we're going to continue to put into place for California those policies. And I would say this, California being the 5th largest economy in the world, a nation state, the markets are going to respond to California. Venture capital is in California. So we can talk about policy. I believe the science is there. People will dispute the naysayers. But I think when you look at California, we are a big market. And so we're going to continue to be able to do some of those policies and have the support of companies and business across the country and the world.
So affordable housing first. What's next for District 39?
Everything is important. Affordable housing, because I know it's a crisis, and it's always been a passion of mine personally, having grown up in substandard housing. But I think when you look at the issues, it really is everything I've already said: housing, transportation, healthcare, water, climate. And I just think it's an exciting time. Clearly, we've got to see what happens nationally. But I think California is going to continue to do great things and lead by example and by the legislation that we put into place. And I'm looking forward to it. We get started today, actually. I fly up to Sacramento after I leave you, so I'm anxious to get back to work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Senator Atkins introduced a similar affordable housing bill as an assembly member, but it didn't get the needed votes. This time, she says there's more support. San Diego rent prices continued to go up last month, but new data shows the speed of that climb has slowed significantly. The average cost of a one-bedroom in the county stayed at $1,500 a month. The average two-bedroom cost was $500 more. Experts say rents climb up 4 to 6% a year. San Diego remains the fourth most expensive rental market in California, behind San Francisco, Los Angeles, and San Jose. KPBS recently investigated San Diego's housing crisis. Our North County Bureau reporter Allison St. John finds the middle class is especially hard squeezed.
Next speaker, please.
Longtime Escondido resident Guy Chandler faced a situation many San Diego families may be all too familiar with. He described it at a recent county supervisors meeting.
Probably the worst day of my life was June 16th, 2015, when my daughter, Janelle, 37 years old, came to me and said, "Dad, sit down. I want to tell you something you're not going to like." I said, "What's that, sweetheart?" She said, "We have to move out of San Diego County."
Chandler's daughter told him she was planning to take her young family and move to another state because she couldn't find a house she could afford to raise her kids in San Diego.
Next 2 days, a lot of hand-wringing and crying went on.
Chandler says he now communicates with his grandchildren via FaceTime.
What's my point? My point is droves of young families are leaving the state of California because they can't afford to live here.
The housing situation in San Diego is being called a crisis for both buyers and renters. Stephen Russell heads the San Diego Housing Federation, which works to produce more affordable housing for renters, like this development at 22nd and Commercial, east of downtown.
Since the year 2000, we've seen rents increase by about 32%. While wages have actually decreased by 2% during that same time frame.
Russell says more than half of San Diego renters are paying more than a third of their income in rent. More than 70% of San Diegans are now priced out of the homeownership market for an average-priced house. And yet San Diego's regional planning agency, the San Diego Association of Governments, or SANDAG, says there is the space, we have the capacity to build enough housing to meet our needs. Here's the Director of Land Use and Transportation Planning, Charles Stoll.
Our current forecast shows that the planned housing that is contained within all the general plans for all of our local jurisdictions, all the cities and the unincorporated county, provide enough housing to accommodate the projected need of about 325,000 units between now and the year 2050. So the current general plans show sufficient capacity to meet that.
Well, the forecasts of our regional planners tell us that there should be enough new housing being built in San Diego like this to meet the needs of our children. In practice, the gap between what we need and what is actually being built is getting wider and wider.
According to SANDAG, we need anywhere between 11,000 to 12,000 units annually just to keep pace with population growth.
Matt Adams of San Diego's Building Industry Association says that hasn't happened for 10 years, since 2005, as this chart shows. Last year, the building industry did get permits for over 10,000 units.
And that was the first time we've done it since, way back here. And so I thought it would have gotten more attention, but sadly it didn't.
But Adams admits there's a catch to these improving numbers. Even though more of the permits, the ones in red, are for multifamily, not single-family homes, they are still not affordable.
Out of the 10,000 that were produced last year, you had only 229 single-family homes were produced that could be sold at $500,000 or less. The market that is not being met or serviced is the market of working middle-class families.
Adams calls the housing market an hourglass market, with more houses being built for the people at the top and the bottom of the economic ladder than people in the middle. But Russell says it's more like a goblet with a big bowl and a tiny base. He says in the first 7 years of building out SANDAG's regional housing forecast, just over 20% of the housing needs for low-income earners was built. Under 20% of housing for middle-class families were built, while for the above-average earners, 152% of what was needed got built.
The goblet, is nice because you think of a goblet spilling over with supply, and for the top third, there is a plethora of choices. For folks below the top third, there really are not choices.
Russell says part of the problem is that though the state requires cities to submit plans for where houses can be built, there are very few incentives to actually build them.
It would be helpful if municipalities actually built according to their community plans and actually met the expectations that they put out in their own local housing elements. If they were to do that, then we could in fact meet the demand the local demand for housing.
Adams agrees, saying there are no penalties and few incentives for cities to follow through on their state-mandated housing plans.
It's a paperwork exercise right now.
Sandag awards between $5 and $8 million every few years to cities that do a particularly good job of building sustainable, affordable houses near transit lines, like this one in Vista. But Stahl says the regional planning agency has no authority to enforce local land use plans that call for higher density.
Each jurisdiction is responsible for pulling their own weight. That's the way it's always been.
Russell thinks as San Diego's housing crisis deepens, Sandag should step up and take more of a leadership role.
We have had some constructive conversations, but I don't think that the magnitude of the housing crisis we're in has really permeated to the minds of all of those board members. So we have a lot of work ahead of us, I think, to get the level of focus and attention and commitment from Sandag that the issue really deserves.
Allison St. John, KPBS News.
SDG&E has received a reprimand from the state. For now, the utility can't lobby against Community Choice Aggregation. It's an alternative group purchasing method which allows cities to buy energy for residents, giving them more power to choose renewable energy. SDG&E's plan to lobby against it was approved this summer, but now that plan has been suspended. State officials say it doesn't follow state guidelines, like properly training contractors on how to talk about community choice.
Because they refuse to conform with the state requirements, they are no longer authorized to approach an elected official or institution or an organization in San Diego or a community leader and discuss community choice energy.
SDG&E says it will provide more information to the state this month. SeaWorld San Diego is planning a new roller coaster called Electric Eel. This ride will be faster and taller than their other two coasters, going 62 miles an hour. Park officials say it'll give riders the chance to move like an eel. It's scheduled to open next year. Ahead of the introduction of a new thrill, SeaWorld San Diego says goodbye to a long-time tradition. The Shamu Show is being retired. For decades, people have come from all over the world to see it. The park has struggled with attendance, though, following criticism over captive breeding and treatment of killer whales. The theatrical orca show will be replaced by an educational one. The final Shamu Show is on Sunday. It's still too early to tell whether we're in for another year of drought. Today, California's water managers measured the snowpack in the Sierra. It's at 53% of normal for this time of year. The snowpack holds much of the state's water supply. More snow is expected in the Sierra this week, and more rain is headed our way. Shanae Shocker has tonight's forecast.
We have a big area of low pressure pushing on shore. Most of that wet weather, however, held off towards our north. We do see that coming in towards San Francisco and even some snow out towards the Sierra Nevada mountains. So we are going to be seeing hard travel conditions off to our north. However, down in the Southern California, especially out towards San Diego, mostly looking at just a couple of high clouds throughout today and into tonight as well. We take a closer look, maybe a couple of spotty showers or a wintry mixture in towards the mountains, but overall things are going to be staying quite dry for tonight, especially around the metro area. Partly cloudy conditions, 49 for our low tonight as we head into the middle of our work week. Out towards Ramona, temperatures drop into the upper 30s, as well as out towards Alpine. We're at 36 degrees for Mount Laguna. Borrego Springs at 42. Everyone's seeing those partly cloudy conditions as well. Now we head towards our Wednesday. Once again, most of that rain held off towards our north, maybe Los Angeles getting a couple of sprinkles in there, but the heavier rain held out towards San Francisco. Snow's going to reach in towards Reno, but down here in San Diego, things are going to stay quite warm as well. So warmer today, warmer for tomorrow as well, but then we're on a cool down for a couple of days at least. Mostly sunny conditions out on the coast. Spotty showers make their way in towards Thursday, so chance of some spottier showers on Thursday. We'll dry back out, mostly sunny conditions for our Friday as well. But then going towards Saturday, we'll have a new system approach, bringing a couple of showers around the region. 67 for our high on Saturday. By Sunday, we're in the lower 70s. So definitely on a warm up on the latter half of this week. Inland, very similar story as well. We'll see some spotty showers on our Thursday. Temperatures sitting in the mid-60s, at least through Friday. And then by Saturday, showers return 69 degrees. But Sunday, once those showers clear out, as well as those clouds, we are going to be quite warm, 77 for our high and our low at 55. The mountains are also going to be warming up. We will see some spottier showers on our Thursday, so not looking at any snow, definitely not cold enough to get any snowflakes for heading towards Thursday, 49 degrees for our high. Then by Friday, 48, and we head towards the weekend. Shower or two in store for us on Saturday with that new system approaching, 52 degrees, and we're at 59 degrees, partly sunny for our Sunday. Here's a look going in towards the deserts. Here we'll see a passing shower in towards our Thursday. Temperatures jump up into the 70s, and then by Friday into Saturday, we're back down in towards the mid-60s, maybe a passing shower for Saturday, so building in some cloud cover, and will be cloudy for Sunday as well, but temperature is not too bad, 74 degrees for our high. For KPBS News, I'm Shanae Shocker.
Think of all the things people do on Sundays: errands, church, visiting family, and even work. Doing all that without a car in San Diego can be nearly impossible. KPBS Metro reporter Andrew Bowen caught up with a woman who wants to change that.
You're LeJean? Hi, nice to meet you. LeJean Russell is just getting off work at Home Depot in the Mountain View neighborhood. It's a Sunday, meaning she's got a long commute with lots of walking ahead of her. She let me tag along.
I've been catching the bus since I was a teenager.
Are you from San Diego?
Born and raised.
LeJean has a couple different bus routes she can take, each with different transfers and timetables. She checks the different arrival times on her phone.
This one comes in 7 minutes.
Okay, so should we wait here then, do you think?
Yes, we can wait here because the other one is 20 minutes, right?
Okay. One of the biggest problems getting to and from work on a Sunday, LeJean says, is buses don't run frequently enough. If she's seconds late for one bus, it can take her a half hour longer to get to work. None of this would be a problem, of course, if LeJean could afford a car. She lives in Oak Park, only 3 miles from her job.
If I had a car, it'd take me like 5 to 10 minutes to get home.
Instead, it takes you
an hour.
Sunday bus schedules used to be a lot better in San Diego.
Hello, how are you?
But starting in 2007, the state and federal governments began slashing their subsidies to public transit. That forced the Metropolitan Transit System to raise its fares. Then in 2010, it made sweeping cuts to services, most of them on Sundays. Those cuts were first discussed at an MTS board meeting in December 2009. There's no video of the meeting, but there is audio. Things got pretty emotional during public comment.
Well, on Sundays, the bus 11 is the only bus that gets me to church. It takes me 3 hours, but at least it's there. I don't know anyone with a car. Sorry. My livelihood is like going down the tubes. How am I supposed to get an education? How am I supposed to get a job if there's no transportation?
When MTS proposed the Sunday cuts, they said they would hopefully be temporary until the economy recovered. Well, the economy mostly has recovered, but subsidies to MTS are still below pre-recession levels when adjusted for inflation. It's been able to bring back only 60% of the services that were cut. Last year, MTS saw its first overall decline in ridership in several years. It's now doing surveys to see how it can run the existing network more efficiently. Transit advocates like Colin Parent of the nonprofit Circulate San Diego say MTS has a tough job. It has to serve San Diegans who depend on public transit while still running routes that have the most riders and bring in the most money. That's especially tough for MTS because it gets a smaller chunk of local tax dollars than public transit in other cities.
There really are difficult choices between efficiency and cost effectiveness for rides and these social equity concerns, and making sure that people who don't have access to a car are able to get around using public transit. And it's not that one or the other is totally the most important thing. They're both important, and you have have to balance them both.
The final stretch of Lijan's commute is a walk up a long hill. She and some neighbors recently gathered signatures asking MTS to restore Sunday service to a bus line that runs right in front of their low-income housing development. Last April, they met with a transit planner to discuss options, but MTS says it simply can't afford the changes residents are asking for. About an hour after leaving Lijan's work, we finally arrive at her apartment. As we talk outside, she sums up the problem.
When you're filling out an application for a job, it asks you, do you have reliable transportation to and from work? Most people put yes because that's what you have to do to get the job, but they're still on public transportation, and it's not reliable.
San Diego has an ambitious climate action plan that expects thousands of San Diegans to quit driving and start taking public transit. But unless public transit improves, it risks losing the riders it has now.
Do you want a car?
I do want a car. Right now, yes, I do.
Just because it would be easier?
Just because it would be easier. It would make my life so much easier.
Andrew Bowen, KPBS News.
You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thank you for joining us. Have a great night.